this video we're going to look at some of the roads between Bombala and Traralgon. We're going to start off on the now fully sealed Bonang Road through to Orbost. From Orbost, it's a great twisty road through to Buchan and then Buchan to Bruthen. Our route to Traralgon is via the Tarra Valley and the Bulga National Park before heading along the twisty Traralgon Road to Traralgon, which is a really good centralised place to stay. It must be noted that the Delegate Road from Bombala is now in excellent condition. Most of those potholes have all been fixed. We got away from Bombala at 7 AM in the morning, so it's good to get in some nice fresh kilometres where it's a bit cooler. The problem with leaving early on a road like this is you've really got to take your time, scan and watch out for kangaroos. We saw 8 wallabies and 1 big kangaroo. A little pause for the most photographed sign that really does tell the story of this road. And when we passed this guy on another GS, I was thinking, gee, he must have left early, either that or he lives somewhere on the Bonang. So this was our first ride on this road since they totally finished sealing that 12 kilometres of dirt. There'd been quite a few comments on Facebook about it being gravelly. We didn't find it to be gravelly at all. Definitely a coarse finish for most of it. Now, road conditions are always changing, but perhaps it was our tyres that made it feel more grippy. We're running 50/50 Mitas E07 Plus tyres. This is still part of the recently sealed section. Our overall impression of the road is definitely much better. There's been a lot of ongoing maintenance. Overall, the surface is much better for more of the road. It's a lot smoother. You will notice that there's forever changing surfaces. Sometimes it's black, sometimes it's white. So the overall ride was much better than we've experienced before. For the whole duration to Orbost, we pass about 1 car and have about 3 or 4 cars going in the other direction. The road's always been a bit patchy, but it's nowhere near as bad as it used to be. So Bombala to Delegate's 36 kilometres, or to the Victorian border is 49 kilometres, and that's where the Bonang Road actually starts. It's another 112 kilometres to Orbost, and you get a genuine 105 kilometres of twisties along the way. So the total distance from Bombala to Orbost is 161 kilometres. The beauty of this road is that it's got it all. Tight corners, wide sweepers, flowing bends, changing surfaces, and it can be tiring. In fact, every time we've ridden it in the other direction, which has happened to be late in the afternoon or after lunch, we've found it very tiring, and generally at those occasions we stop somewhere along the way for a bit of a rest and a drink. So you get a whole bunch of sweepers to finish off before perhaps a stop at one of the cafes at Orbost. Heading south, most people take the highway through to Bruthen. We're heading out to Buchan, and this is an absolutely fantastic ride. We stop off for a quick photo of the old Snowy River rail bridge. There's some new timber and railings, so they must be doing some maintenance on that bridge. Overall, the Buchan-Orbost Road's got a good surface. It starts off like a normal road, going through some farmlands, quite good scenery. As you travel further on, the road narrows, like this section here. It's not much wider than a single car lane. It's still got some flowing twisties, however, the really great stuff is still ahead of us. I'd normally recommend when you get to Buchan not to do what we're doing and turning left, but rather turn right and just stay on that Gelentippy road out to W Tree. You can do a U-turn at the W Tree Falls, but that's just absolutely great riding out to there, and a good surface road as well. This road features different scenery, always a nice grippy surface. For us there was little to no traffic, but I believe there could be some logging trucks at particular times, maybe during the week. Not to mention you can come across logging trucks on the Bonang Road. In fact, we've probably only seen one once, when I followed it for the whole length of the dirt section. So this section, as you start getting closer to Buchan, is the part of the road I was mentioning earlier in the video. It's an area of ongoing sweepers, one after another. I've actually cut quite a lot of them out of this video, but I wanted to leave a few in so you can get an idea that this is just a really great flowing road. Unlike the next 5 days of riding we're going to do, this particular day was just 500 kilometres of sealed bitumen. We wanted to position ourselves at Traralgon, which is a city with so many great facilities, a really good pub where we had our dinner. The Comfort Inn Motel is really cheap with very nice rooms, unbelievably so close to so many country roads, just minutes away. Buchan's like a small hub with a popular pub and is the gateway to a lot of the popular dirt roads such as the Snowy River Road and Barry Way through to Jindabyne, Limestone Road to Benambra and then Omeo, and McKillop's Road to McKillop's Bridge. Pub's up this side road right there to the right, and there's a general store on the left. The other interesting thing about Buchan is whether you're coming into Buchan or out of Buchan on any of these three roads, you're greeted with really great surface twisties in each direction. This way to Now an Hour or Bruthen, the reverse direction to W Tree, or the way we came from Orbost. We turn right onto the Bruthen Now and Now Road, which takes you through to Bruthen and the Great Alpine Road. With a few thousand twisties under our belt for the morning, we begin the boring part of the day. We'd always want to check out the Tarra Valley and the Tarra Bulga National Park, so that's where we're now heading. There's the bikes and the gear. I guess it was the idea of riding through a windy national park with rainforests, ferns and tall trees, and just see what's there. We were surprised to see a few holiday retreats that all seem quite busy and don't expect to have the road to yourself. We passed a few cars along the way. Tarra Valley Road is quite narrow and winds along the Tarra River and crossing it a number of times. I notice a motorbike parked here, so turn off for a bit of a sticky beat, see what sort of bike it is, and just move on from there. We spent half the time taking in the nice scenery and the other half making sure we weren't going to run into a car coming around any of these tight blind corners. The place on your right's a best friend holiday retreat, the Dog Holiday Park. It was the 31st of December, New Year's Eve, and we went to the Grand Junction Hotel for dinner, and it was actually booked out, but they made a bit of space for us, so we were lucky to get a good meal. Now this was a very ad hoc trip, with much of it unplanned. We don't even know how long we were going for, and on New Year's Day we were intending to ride the entirety of the Grand Ridge Road. It's a 132 kilometre road which spans the Strzelecki Ranges, and about 50% of it's sealed and 50% of it is dirt. However, we did know that the Tarra Falls was just up ahead, and that was somewhere where we planned to stop. The question is, was it going to be worth it?
Tarra Falls, this is it. Walk down, and here comes Tony. She's been down at Tarra Falls, under the tree. it's just to stop for us, stretch the legs. Wonderful.
We hopped back on the bikes and we were having a little chat and then started discussing the fact that we didn't have lunch. Anyway, we were still on the Tarra Valley Road, winding up now towards the Grand Ridge Road. We'd ridden a few sections of the Grand Ridge Road 2 years ago on previous ride, and it was at this point when we were on this road now, and I looked left where the gravel section was as we came on. So I put it to Tony whether she wanted to do that ride on New Year's Day, and she said no. So that meant after dinner it was planing time. We just passed the Corrigan Suspension Bridge, which is a worthwhile short walk to do. We did it on our last trip. Our final road into Traralgon is yet another quality surface twisty road, which is certainly another reason why we come to this area, and that is the Traralgon Bulga Road. As you wind your way around, you pass through Mount Tassie and a right-hand turn to the Mount Tassie lookout, again somewhere we'd stopped before. We just cruised down the mountain to finish off our ride for the day so that we could get in and have an early dinner to make up for our lunch that we missed. The theme for our videos is to show what roads and routes are like that we ride. So if you find them useful, hit the subscribe button and we'll see you next time.